Welcome back to another Everyman Movie Critic. It's me, Johnny B.
And this is Scott.
And as always, make sure you hit the like button. Leave a comment below, subscribe if you haven't, and hit that notification for new videos. I'm posting them every week. For now, I do want to do 2 a week just to get a library going, and then eventually we'll probably drop it down to 1. I might have accidentally hit the record button and stopped the video. Anyway, so this week's topic is all about WWE wrestlers who have either made it or haven't made it. And actually, it's funny because some of them did make it for a little while and then they stopped making them. And let's start off by talking about the guy who paved the way, none other than the immortal man himself, Hulk Hogan. The prayers, the training, and the vitamins really paid off. He ended up making quite a few movies back in the 80s and 90s. Some were hits, some not so much.
Some were funny as hell.
Some were direct to DVD.
That goes for everybody.
So yeah, the Hulk Hogan, the Hulkster himself, he started out with, I believe the first movie was that wrestling movie.
Well, one.
Where he played...
His first movie was Rocky.
Oh yeah, no, I'm talking about the first starring role. Yes.
Oh.
And he wasn't actually supposed to make Rocky. Vince McMahon was not happy with him.
Vince McMahon Sr.
He was not happy with him. He did not want him to cross over like that.
Yeah, and he got fired for it.
Well, luckily that didn't stick. But the first movie he starred in was, and I can't remember the name of it now.
No Holds Barred?
No Holds Barred, yes.
I don't think that was his first one. I thought it was something like Suburban Commando type
No, they came after.
Really?
Yep.
I mean, the Suburban Commando was awesome for that. Well, I mean, I love the
and
part
Undertaker
where
was
he's like...
supposedly in that movie, too.
He might have been.
Somebody said he was one of the aliens.
When Hulk Hogan's in a movie, he takes away from everybody else. So...
Well,
he did that for wrestling, he did that for everything.
If he was dressed up like an alien, nobody would have known it was him anyway because the aliens had those costumes on.
But yeah, I mean, Suburban Commando was great. I love the part where he punched the mime. It's one of my favorite parts in any movie.
Let us know in the comments below if you've seen that movie, Suburban Commando. That was one of his lesser-known roles.
But other than that, I mean, yeah, you got the one movie that you're talking about with him and Zeus, which led to a wrestling match.
Oh yeah, Zeus did come over.
Yeah, for like 2 matches. All he did was choke people.
He joined Million Dollar Man, yep. Ted DiBiase or whatever his name was.
Yeah, but you got that. You got what other movies I have with him with it? You got him where he was in the.
Then he did like Tropic Thunder.
Tropic Thunders. That actually was pretty good. That again is going to go to something.
Wasn't his hair cut in that movie or something? He had short hair in that movie. It was something that he had.
It led to TV show. He might have had short hair in that. I know he cut his hair for a few things.
And we are going to actually talk about movies that made a transition over to TV, and some were successful, some were not. But that's another video.
But yeah, I mean, he had the one where he was in same thing that The Rock did, where they dressed up the nanny.
He was the nanny.
Yeah, they had that.
It's funny how The Rock kind of followed his career a little bit at the beginning, where he did those goofball comedies, where he was. Tried to do sports comedy movies. He tried to do where he was the nanny or whatever. I'm thinking of Vin Diesel. He did The Pacifier, but The Rock did similar stuff like that. The Tooth Fairy.
Yes, The Tooth Fairy for him. Yep.
I didn't even understand that. It's finally now when he started joining like franchises that were already established, and they called him the franchise savior.
Oh, I thought they called him the coattail hanger.
No, they did not. He's considered a guy who saved a lot of genres. Or franchises. When they brought him into the Fast and the Furious series, even though they was already making good movies, when his character Hobbs came in there, it kind of elevated it. The second G.I. Joe movie that he was in, stop making that look.
It looks like.
Where's your? I'm surprised I didn't get the.
Yeah, that comes when it comes. But
that's what she said.
But yeah, I mean, the movies like that for him, G.I. Joe was.
But when he was in it, his sequel made more money than the original.
And money doesn't matter.
I thought it was better. Because he had more of a backstory with Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow, which actually they are making a Snake Eyes movie now, I think, or Storm Shadow movie, one of the two.
They killed off everybody from the first one. I didn't like that.
Well, they wanted to introduce new characters.
They could have introduced new characters.
I'm surprised they chose him to be Roadblock, though, because Roadblock really wasn't a leader.
That's stupid, yeah.
But it was the only fitting character. It's not like they could have made him Flint or anything, because he would not have been a good. Even though Flint was in that movie, Flint and Lady J were both in that movie. I don't remember who played them. If you remember who played them, leave a comment below, because I really don't remember who the heck played those guys.
And you got The Rock, yeah.
But Jinx was in it, I think. Yeah, Jinx was in it.
Jinx is a ninja.
Yeah, she was in that movie. She was a...
Yeah, they had focused on ninjas with that. That's going to get into comic books and cartoons more for G.I. Joe, I would say. To me, I didn't like that second movie. I didn't. The first movie I didn't really care that much for either.
Well, I'll give you your...
But, yeah. It's,
Okay, so we have The Rock, we have Hulk Hogan. Dave Bautista, we actually were arguing about this a minute ago. Dave Bautista has joined Marvel, obviously. That's kind of a cheap way to get to the top because you're joining an established franchise of movies. But he still did a great job as Drax. He showed that he's got good comedic timing. He actually had some decent acting chops in that movie. And he's done the little bit things here and there before that, and he's done some silly things since then, like Stuber, which is actually a really good movie, and it just didn't do anything in the box office. So I agree with you in a certain stance that movies, just because they don't make a lot of money, doesn't mean that they aren't good.
I don't think to me it doesn't matter how much a movie can make $1 or it can make $100 million.
Well, we hope it doesn't make $1.
But regardless, that's if it's a good movie, it's a good movie. If it's a bad movie and it made $100 million, people watched a bad movie.
Yep, very true. I'm trying to think of what else he was in. He's going to be in some other ones. I'm sure he probably lent his voice to some animated movies. If you know of any other movies that Bautista was in that we missed, Dave Bautista, Drax the Destroyer on Guardians of the Galaxy, people will probably know him best as.
Yeah, I mean, he did a good role with that. He did very good role. I mean, that's his character. I can't see anybody else that could do that. You got that, and then the comedy show, one that you're talking about that I haven't seen, that looks good, and I like him, so I don't have a problem with him. He's done basically, considering that Drax is in a whole bunch of movies, I consider that one role. So he's had like 2 roles.
That I know
of. Yeah, so far. Okay.
But I think it's going to open the door for him to do a lot of other things.
Very well could. You got
Well, now we have one of the actors I was talking, or one of the wrestlers that he was actually very underrated, and I thought it was Roddy Piper.
Roddy Piper made some really good movies.
Unfortunately, they were all cult movies, but like Hell Comes to Frogtown,
awesome movie.
And of course everybody knows the John Carpenter flick he was in. Why can't I think of the name of the movie?
They Live.
They Live. Yes, that's a great movie. Because John Carpenter was awesome.
One of my favorite lines in a movie in that.
I've come here to kick ass and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of bubblegum. Yes, that's a very quotable. He always has, yes, that's true. He does have one of the most quotable lines of any movie. It's in like the top 100 quotes from movies. Look it up on whatever website you need to look it up on. But those are the 2 movies that really stand out to me. And then he unfortunately died in the 90s, I believe. So he really got it.
He just died not too long ago. Oh yeah.
But he could have made more movies.
He could have. He stopped.
He only did like really those 2 that most people remember, and maybe some other little ones here and there.
He had a daughter. I think he raised her. She's now wrestling. I mean.
Oh yeah, I did hear about her.
She's actually an actress too. She's an actress, a model, and a wrestler. So she's trying to follow in her dad's footsteps a little bit, but kind of going backwards.
Okay, so the other wrestler we were talking about was Edge.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what movie he's been in, except for Highlander Endgame. That was the last Highlander movie before they decided to stop doing those.
Well, they made one more after that, but that was a video one. Yeah.
I'm talking about big screen adaptation.
But Edge, if you're talking about acting being who made it, Edge has been in TV shows. He's huge on TV shows right now.
This is a movie channel.
But this is also what actors made it as wrestlers.
If you guys want us to talk about TV shows too, by all means, leave it in the comments. We'll talk about anything that's old. Or if you want Scott to do his own YouTube channel about TV. or his own set of videos on this channel, I'm more than happy to please you guys because it is your channel. Hit the like button if you want to see Scott doing more videos about TV shows, or both of us. Leave a comment below. All right, so Edge.
Mm-hmm.
Name one movie he was in besides Highlander and
Besides Highlander. Okay, give me a second because I had it up for you.
That's what she said.
Yeah, I know. And she ran away screaming.
I'm sorry, folks. While he's looking that up.
Right now, the one that I really liked that he did was with Jamie Kennedy. And that was called Bending the Rules. That was in 2012.
Yeah, that was a direct-to-DVD.
I don't know if it was or not.
I've
And then the
never
one that I haven't seen, 2016.
If you guys have heard the Breaking All the Rules or whatever it's called, Breaking the Rules.
Bending the Rules.
Bending the Rules. Leave a comment below. Let me know what I missed out. Tell me if it's any good.
And I'm pretty sure it was not a direct-to-DVD. I'm pretty sure it was a small release thing because it was from WWE Studios, and they tend to.
They did a lot of direct-to-DVD.
They did that because The Miz made 8 million Marine movies after a couple other ones.
Oh, speaking of that, John Cena, he's another one.
He was in the Marine.
But he also, he didn't have a great start, but then he also joined like old properties. He was in that last Bumblebee movie with, the Transformers. That was actually a good Transformers movie since Michael Bay's first one. He's been in, he was in a bunch of comedies. He was in that Daddy's Home or whatever it's called.
He was in a wrestling movie too. That was really good. The amateur wrestling one. I'm not sure what the name of it is, but he was an amateur wrestler. And then he had to train his younger brother.
Kurt Angle was in a movie.
Kurt Angle.
He was in that movie about the MMA fighters, the two brothers. He was he was like a Russian guy that the brother had to fight, and he had a hard time with. That was the one with Tom Hardy and Joel Edgerton, where they were both in MMA together.
Okay.
And they had to end up fighting each other. But yeah, anyway, so back to John Cena. Yeah. He's actually, I like his work. He does pretty good.
He's a much better actor than he is a wrestler.
He was just in that firefighter movie that was out a couple months ago. It didn't do a lot of money, but again, it was one of those movies that was still decent.
And he's also been in a lot of TV stuff.
Yeah.
He was in Psych.
He's proven that he could do acting. He's proven he could be comedic.
What's funny is that wrestlers, wrestling is not really fake. I mean, people say it is, but
the injuries are real.
The injuries are real.
But it is staged.
It's staged. It's not fake. You have to be a darn good actor. A darn good athlete to do wrestling.
And an actor.
Yep.
You have to portray pain or whatever.
You've got to be a better athlete than a baseball player.
When they're holding them in those things, they got to look like they're in actual pain.
You got to be a better athlete than a baseball player. You're flipping around. Some of them are flipping around the ring like they're an acrobat, like they're doing gymnastics. There's a lot to do with it. You're powerlifting, you're a power builder. There's so much you have to do as a wrestler. It's very underrated for what it is.
You gotta act like you care about people.
Yes, or act like you don't care about people. One or the other. But yeah, there's a lot that goes into wrestling. People don't realize that. So that makes them just sometimes a better actor than some of the people that have been trained to be actors.
It can be, because they do have the experience.
They're no Christian Slater, or they're no John Travolta, but they're still good actors.
You just mentioned Face Off. No, not Face Off. Those two
Broken Arrow.
Broken Arrow.
Two of the best actors ever.
Okay, so then we were also talking about Kane, who has been in more horror movies than anything.
2 horror movies. He did a great role.
So he really didn't get to show any acting at all, because his character in the WWE has never really talked.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, pretty much a mindless moron.
Kane could just as well fit into playing Jason or Michael Myers.
Yeah, that horror movie was in. It was pretty good. It was in the hotel.
He was very good. I liked him as
kill
that.
Those people that were.
He did a good job with that, but I agree with you with that. It hasn't shown anything.
You agree with me on something? Holy crap!
But now he's the mayor of Knoxville.
Leave a like button, guys. Scott and Joy actually agreed with me on something.
And now Kane's the mayor of Knoxville, so I don't think he's going to be making too many movies for a while.
All right, last one we're going to talk about is Stone Cold Steve Austin. He's an interesting one because, again, he tried to star in his own movies that didn't really work out, but then he joined movies like The Expendables. He was a bad guy in that. When he played a bad guy, he was in one of the football movies that we already talked about that did not record, and we have to record it again. But he was in The Longest Yard with Adam Sandler. He played a dick in that. I'll probably have to edit that out.
That's his best thing, is being one of
And then he did a lot of direct-to-DVD stuff, and still does to this day. And it's a shame that because he could have been a decent actor. He could have been a good action star.
And you know what else he's done?
Never got it caught on. What?
A lot of TV.
I don't doubt that. Well, anyway, so that's our topic this week. Wrestlers in the WWE who made it and who didn't make it. Leave a comment below if we missed anybody that you'd like us to talk about in the future episodes. Hit the notification button for new videos coming out. Hit the like button. Even if you didn't like it anyway, because we could use the likes. Leave a comment below on anything you'd like us to talk about, or if we missed something that you want us to talk about. And subscribe if you haven't. So we'll see you next time.